Imagine you're a 19th century sailor. Your ship is loaded with goods, your crew is singing sea shanties, and you're staring down an 8,000-mile journey around the tip of South America. That's the reality sailors faced before the Panama Canal, a 50-mile waterway that revolutionized global trade, reshaped geography, and proved that humans can move mountains, literally. But building the Panama Canal wasn't just a triumph of engineering. It was a saga of ambition, failure, and perseverance. This megaproject began with the French in the 1880s, who dreamed of a sea-level canal but were defeated by deadly diseases, landslides, and financial ruin. Enter the Americans, who brought cutting-edge technology, including dynamite, locks, and mosquito control, to turn the dream into reality. From the engineering marvel of the lock system to the sheer scale of excavation, the canal stands as a testament to human ingenuity. Yet, it wasn't without cost. Thousands of lives were lost, and the jungle fought back every step of the way. Today, the Panama Canal remains a vital artery of global trade, a symbol of how technology and determination can conquer even the most daunting challenges. So, grab your explorer's hat and let's dive into the history, engineering feats, and modern challenges of this iconic megaproject. Spoiler, it involves a lot of mosquitoes and even more dynamite. Long before the canal was built, the idea of a Central American waterway was the stuff of dreams. Spanish explorers in the 1500s imagined a shortcut to connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, but the technology and the budget just wasn't there. Fast forward to the 1800s, and the dream was reignited by two powerful forces: gold and greed. The California gold rush of 1849 was a game-changer. Thousands of prospectors raced to California in search of fortune, and the quickest route was a land crossing through Panama. This treacherous journey involved navigating dense jungles, battling diseases, and braving unpredictable rivers. Suddenly, the idea of a canal wasn't just a dream. It became a necessity. A waterway through Panama would cut the journey by thousands of miles, saving time, money, and lives. At the same time, global trade was booming. Ships laden with goods needed a faster and safer way to move between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The alternative, sailing around South America's Cape Horn, was a nightmare. The route was notorious for its violent storms, icy waters, and unpredictable winds. Many ships never made it, and those that did often arrived with damaged cargo and exhausted crews. The economic potential of a canal was undeniable, and the world began to take notice. Enter Ferdinand de Lesseps, the French engineer who had successfully built the Suez Canal in Egypt. Flush with confidence, and perhaps a touch of overconfidence, de Lesseps launched an ambitious project in 1881 to dig a sea-level canal through Panama. He envisioned a waterway that would rival the Suez in grandeur and efficiency. But Panama was no Egypt. The French effort quickly turned into a disaster. The dense jungles were teeming with mosquitoes carrying deadly diseases like malaria and yellow fever. Workers died by the thousands, and the project's morale and finances crumbled. To make matters worse, the terrain was far more challenging than anticipated. Landslides buried equipment, and the jungle seemed to fight back at every turn. By 1889, the French had spent $287 million, lost over 20,000 lives, and achieved little more than a series of muddy ditches. The project was abandoned, leaving behind a trail of broken dreams and financial ruin. The French effort to build the Panama Canal is a cautionary tale of hubris, bad planning, and the brutal realities of tropical environments. When Ferdinand de Lesseps, the celebrated engineer behind the Suez Canal, set his sights on Panama in 1881, he was confident that his success in Egypt could be replicated in Central America. But Panama had other plans. The first and most devastating challenge was the mosquito problem. Panama's jungles were teeming with mosquitoes carrying malaria and yellow fever, though no one at the time understood the connection between these insects and disease. Workers fell ill by the thousands, with symptoms ranging from high fevers to jaundice, and death rates soared. The French had no idea what was killing their workforce. Some even blamed bad air or jungle spirits. The lack of medical knowledge and proper sanitation turned the construction site into a death trap. Then there was the mud problem. The French had planned to dig a sea-level canal, similar to the Suez, but Panama's terrain was far more treacherous. The region's heavy rainfall triggered constant landslides, burying equipment and undoing weeks of work in moments. The jungle itself seemed to fight back, with dense vegetation and unstable soil making progress agonizingly slow. What was meant to be a straightforward excavation turned into a never-ending battle against nature. Finally, there was the money problem. The French had vastly underestimated the cost and complexity of the project. After 9 grueling years, they had little to show for their efforts. Over 20,000 workers had died, and the company had spent a staggering $287 million, equivalent to billions today. The project was plagued by mismanagement, corruption, and financial mismanagement, leading to the company's eventual bankruptcy. Rusting machinery and half-dug trenches were all that remained of their grand vision. The French failure was so catastrophic that it became known as the Panama Scandal. The collapse of the project led to political upheaval in France, with public outrage over the wasted funds and lost lives. It was a humbling reminder that even the most ambitious projects can fail without proper planning, respect for the environment, and a bit of humility. Before we dive into how the Americans turned this disaster into a triumph, let me ask you, would you have taken on a project this risky? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the Panama Canal, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of human ambition and ingenuity. Now, back to the action. 1904, the United States took over the Panama Canal project, led by the ambitious President Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt saw the canal as more than just a shortcut between oceans. It was a way to boost American power, strengthen global trade, and cement the US as a world leader. But before they could achieve this monumental feat, they had to tackle the same problems that had defeated the French: disease, difficult terrain, and logistical nightmares. First up was defeating disease. American doctors, led by William Gorgas, made a groundbreaking discovery. Mosquitoes were spreading malaria and yellow fever. Armed with this knowledge, they launched a massive campaign to eradicate the pests. Swamps were drained, standing water was eliminated, and buildings were fitted with screens. Insecticide was sprayed liberally, and workers were provided with better living conditions. The result? A dramatic drop in deaths, turning Panama from a death trap into a manageable worksite. Next, the Americans rethought the design. Instead of attempting a sea-level canal like the French, they opted for a lock-based system. Giant locks would act as water elevators, lifting ships 85 feet above sea level to cross the continental divide and then lowering them back down on the other side. This innovative approach reduced the amount of excavation needed and made the project feasible. Finally, they brought the boom. To carve through the mountains, the Americans used 60 million pounds of dynamite, enough to make Michael Bay proud. The Culebra Cut, a 9-mile trench through solid rock, became the most challenging part of the project. Landslides were constant, but the Americans persevered, using steam shovels, railroads, and sheer determination to keep the project on track. After a decade of relentless effort, the Panama Canal officially opened on August 15, 1914. It was a triumph of engineering, a testament to human perseverance, and a symbol of what can be achieved when ambition meets innovation. The Panama Canal is a 50-mile-long marvel of engineering, a testament to human creativity and determination. But how does this incredible waterway actually work? Let's break it down. At the heart of the canal are its locks, 3 sets of them, to be exact: Gatun, Pedro Miguel, and Miraflores. These locks act like giant water elevators, lifting ships 85 feet above sea level to cross the continental divide, and then lowering them back down on the other side. Here's how it works. A ship enters a lock chamber, and massive gates close behind it. Water is either pumped in to raise the ship or drained out to lower it. It's a carefully orchestrated dance of gravity and hydraulics, and it's mesmerizing to watch. Each lock chamber is so precise that there's often only a few feet of clearance on either side of the ship. Next up is Gatun Lake, a massive artificial reservoir that serves as the canal's backbone. Created by damming the Chagres River, this lake provides the 20 million gallons of fresh water needed to operate the locks for each ship that passes through. But Gatun Lake isn't just a water source, it's also a key part of the canal's design. Ships sail across the lake, cutting down on the amount of digging required and making the journey more efficient. At 164 square miles, Gatun Lake was the largest man-made lake in the world when it was created, and it remains a critical part of the canal's operation today. Then there's the Culebra Cut, arguably the most challenging section of the canal. This 9-mile stretch was carved through the continental divide, rugged mountain range that separates the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The cut required the removal of over 100 million cubic yards of rock and dirt, and even today, it requires constant maintenance to prevent landslides. It's a reminder of the sheer scale of the effort required to build the canal. Fun fact, it takes about 8 to 10 hours for a ship to travel through the canal. That's faster than driving across most major cities during rush hour. Today, The Panama Canal is a vital artery of global trade, handling 6% of the world's shipping traffic and serving over 14,000 ships annually. It's a cornerstone of the global economy, connecting over 140 maritime routes and 1,700 ports across 160 countries. But despite its success, the canal faces significant challenges that test its efficiency and sustainability. One of the biggest challenges is size limits. The original locks, built in 1914, were designed for ships of a bygone era. Modern megaships, like the massive Neo-Panamax vessels, are too large to fit through the old locks. To address this, the canal underwent a $5 billion expansion in 2016, adding a new set of larger locks. These new locks can accommodate ships up to 1,200 feet long and 160 feet wide, ensuring the canal remains competitive in the 21st century. Another pressing issue is water shortages. The canal relies on fresh water from Gatun Lake, which is fed by rainfall. But climate change has made droughts more frequent, reducing water levels and forcing the canal to limit ship traffic. To conserve water, the canal has implemented measures like water-saving basins and stricter usage regulations. However, long-term solutions, such as building new reservoirs or desalination plants, are still being explored. Then there's the problem of traffic jams. With so many ships using the canal, delays are common. Some vessels wait days to pass through, creating a maritime traffic jam that can ripple across global supply chains. The Canal Authority has introduced scheduling systems and increased efficiency, but the sheer volume of traffic remains a challenge. Fun fact, the most expensive toll ever paid was $1.2 million by a cargo ship in 2022. The cheapest? 36 cents, paid by adventurer Richard Halliburton in 1928 for swimming through the canal. Talk about a bargain. Despite these challenges, the Panama Canal remains a marvel of engineering and a testament to human ingenuity. It's a reminder that even the most ambitious projects must adapt to survive, and that the world's most important shortcuts are never without their obstacles. No video about the Panama Canal would be complete without some quirky trivia that highlights its unique place in history and pop culture. Let's dive into the fascinating, fun, and sometimes bizarre facts that make the canal so much more than just a waterway. First up is the canal's toll system, which is as unique as the canal itself. Tolls are calculated based on a ship's size, weight, and type of cargo. For example, a massive Neo-Panamax cargo ship might pay over $1 million to pass through, while a small private yacht could pay just a few $100s. The most expensive toll on record? A whopping $1.2 million, paid by a cargo ship in 2022. On the flip side, the cheapest toll was just 36 cents, paid by adventurer Richard Halliburton in 1928 when he swam the entire length of the canal. Yep, you heard that right. He paid by the pound, just like cargo. Speaking of Halliburton, his swim is one of the canal's most famous stories. It took him 10 days to complete the journey, and he even had to navigate through the locks. His adventure captured the world's imagination and remains a testament to human creativity and maybe a little bit of madness. The canal also has a fascinating environmental impact. By connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, it created a unique ecosystem in Gatun Lake, where species from both oceans now mix. While this has led to some ecological challenges, it's also made the area a hotspot for biodiversity. Scientists continue to study the canal's impact on marine life, making it a living laboratory for environmental research. But beyond the trivia, the Panama Canal is a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. It's proof that with enough grit, innovation, and, yes, dynamite, we can reshape the world. From its humble beginnings as a dream of Spanish explorers to its status as a global trade powerhouse, the canal stands as a reminder that no challenge is too great when we work together. The Panama Canal is undeniably one of the world's most essential projects, and a story of failure, triumph, and relentless progress makes it a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. From French disasters to American innovation, it reshaped global trade and proved we can conquer even the toughest challenges. So, next time you see a cargo ship or order something online, remember, a canal is making your life easier. What's the most impressive engineering feat you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of the world's best megaprojects.